Hello everybody, my name is Tanner Kyler. Today we're going to be talking about the Ferocactus, or the Arizona fishhook barrel. Ferocactus wislizeni. This is a predominant species that grows in the Sonoran Desert. This one right here, I believe they only grow from one point and only grow one trunk, so I think there's actually 5 cactus here. There's a little one on this side. This one's not the tallest, none of these are the biggest, but this clump here is pretty cool, so I wanted to start the video out here showing how they can kind of grow in these clumps together. They can get 2 to 3 feet in diameter, and we're going to move over here in a little bit and show a bigger one. But I just wanted to show these guys here, and if you can bring the camera a little closer, these guys have these hooked barbs that are pretty ferocious looking, giving it the name Ferocactus. So when they saw these, they thought they were pretty ferocious, so they give them the name Ferocactus. These guys can tear through your skin, but you can actually touch them very loosely. They don't have glochids, so they're not going to get all in your skin. But if you fall and trip on this thing, it'd definitely be painful. As you can see, they grip onto the skin really well here. Alright, so these guys normally have their blooms. They're yellow to orange here in the early summer, around the apical meristem up here at the top of the plant, right at the central point, and then those will turn into green fruits and then eventually turn yellow like they are in the winter here. Now these fruits here, I'll pull this one out when I want to put it back. They are full of seeds, and so these seeds are very important ecologically for all of the animals that live here. Things like kangaroo rats, javelinas, the deer, pronghorn, all the things that live here use these seeds for food and nutrients. The kangaroo rats actually get almost all of their water from the seeds here. So kangaroo rats do not need to drink water. They can get all theirs from their food. They're very drought tolerant animals. These guys can get about 6 feet tall, so about as tall as I am. They can get up to about 10 feet tall at their maximum, but however, that's not super common. And there's actually a bigger one down the road, so we're going to go ahead and show you guys that one. So let's keep on moving to the next plant. So this is a much larger specimen we have there. These guys also have the nickname of the compass barrel cactus. Now this one isn't doing it because it's underneath the tree. So when they're young, most of the time they start growing up at the base of a plant or a tree to keep them protected from the sun, because they're much more vulnerable when they're little. And a lot of times the plant around them will die and then they'll be out in full sun. So they do like full sun, but as you can see, this one here is growing in partial shade underneath the canopy of this larger ironwood tree. So these large fruits here look much like pineapples, very large fruit, and if you come here and see, they have a lot of small seeds inside of them that will fall out all over the place. So you can collect these seeds and grow them as well to help them out and to toss those seeds right next to it. Put this back up here so another animal can come and take that. So they have these large hook spines to protect them from things like javelinas because they are full of water. And so the reason why they get these spines is to protect themselves. So I'm going to squat down here just next to these spines just to show you how large this plant is. So this one's probably about 4 feet tall. And like I said, they can get up to 6 feet tall, and I've seen some probably upwards towards 8 feet tall. I'll throw some clips in here if I can find some videos of some bigger ones. But yeah, so the fruits are also used by humans and were used by the indigenous people here. So the fruits can be used to make jellies and candies by the natives that were here. So one of the other things, going back to the thing about the compass plant, is they generally lean south. So this one isn't leaning as far south, but a lot of them, if you turn around, there's some right over here that are facing southwards. So the ones right over here, they lean towards the south, and they end up leaning so far over that they end up actually uprooting themselves and falling over. So that's one of the most common causes of death, is just getting too big, too heavy, and falling out during a rain when the soil is looser. So they have quite a large range, and they are actually listed as vulnerable, meaning that they do need our help to keep them from becoming endangered. So due to habitat loss, climate change, destruction of habitat and stuff like that, they are losing their territory. A lot of people know these as a plant that you can eat for water in the desert, but that is not the best idea because they are full of a substance called oxalic acid. And oxalic acid causes digestive issues, likely to cause diarrhea, and that will actually further your dehydration. So this is not a plant you want to eat, even in terms of survival. So these guys typically grow from a range of 1,000 to 5,000 feet and live to be about 50 to 100 years old. So they're not the longest lived cactus, but some of them can live to be about 130 years old. So these guys are a common landscaping plant. You'll see them a lot in cities and stuff because they aren't as ferocious as the choyas that'll really mess you up. So these guys are easy to avoid. So they make an awesome kind of specimen plant in your garden, especially live in the Southwest. These are really cool plants. One of my favorites out here, probably close to my favorite is the saguaro is. They're definitely really big cactus. This guy probably weighs a couple 100 pounds, full of water. Just definitely a desert expert that's figured out how to store as much water as they can through these harsh droughts that they can have up to 2 years with almost no rain. But I think that's about it for this cactus. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to comment if you have any questions or concerns with this video, and we'll see you next time.